the CFD against futures markets. So most of you, including me, we all trade CFD markets, right? Even more, even if you're trading prop firms, okay, you know that you're not in the real market. So the CFD brokers will have USD, for example, in FX broker, or GBP USD, for example, on the broker, forex.com, whatever, plenty of those brokers. Whenever you go to TradingView, you get a bunch of USDs, all from different brokers, okay? And those brokers will, in those pairs, will try to copy the real market, which is futures. The thing with this is that the brokerage is doing the price action itself. And sometimes it might skew up some movements, okay, and present to us fake price action, okay, fake movements, fake liquidity sweeps. Sometimes you might get stopped out of the position and you start to compare it to the futures or even just to other brokers, and you notice that you weren't actually tagged out from your position in the actual markets. It was actually your own broker that just did the manipulation himself in order to take you out of the position. So you realize how even more scammy the trading industry actually is. Because even if the pro firms, we know that we don't trade them. It's basically a Ponzi scheme. Like, you get paid out of the people that lose challenges. Whilst in a CFD brokers, it's practically the same. It's basically the same, whereas you get paid based on the people that lose in the markets. Okay, but before we go into all of that, I just want to give you out the true charts of futures, which for USD, you can type it as 6E1 exclamation point. And for GBP USD, you can type 6B1 exclamation point. Okay, there's futures for all the pairs. Okay, but I only trade USD and GBP USD. Those are the ones I know. Maybe for other pairs, you can type 6 and the letter of the name of the currency. Maybe it will appear. Or just type futures. For example, if you're trading Japanese yen, maybe you type Japanese yen futures. Maybe it will appear. Depends on what you're trading. This is what I trade. This is what I can give you. Okay, so this in futures, it will be the real market. Okay, where the real price action, where you get the real price action moves. Okay, where you get the good zones and valid liquidity sweeps. Because sometimes you might compare these two. Okay, it might be actually be the same exact chart, but you can get different moves at the same moment. Okay, so let's give out the example I was mentioning. Maybe you're in a position right here. Let's say this is your entry. Okay, and price tags you in. Okay, you're in a position. This is your stop loss. Okay, so let's draw exactly the same. Okay, this is CFD. I'm sorry for my writing. And this is futures. Okay, maybe I'll write it all. And this is futures. And here's your stop loss. The thing with SFD brokers, CFD brokers, you might get something like this. Boom. An enormous wick just to come tag you out. Whereas futures, perhaps you were just to see something like this. Okay? So in here, where you place yourself, you got stopped out. In here, in the futures, in the real markets, in the real price session, you're still in a position and you probably even got a TP. So this was clearly a manipulation from the broker itself. And you might be saying, and it's a good argument to make, I trade liquidity and my strategy is super based on smart money traps. Okay, for people that trade smart money concepts, or people that trade ICT, I want to see them get tagged out before I place myself. Okay, see the market manipulate them, and then actually go into my direction. If all those people trade CFD, it means that even though they're getting smarter trapped, they're not actually putting themselves on the market. So if they're not putting themselves on the market, then their lots aren't being liberated, right? Because the point of liquidity is to get people out of trades. Okay, the big guys, the big dogs, okay, the banks, institutions, they want to put a lot of money into the markets, and there needs to be a counterpart, right? And in order to have that counterpart, they need to manipulate the markets, okay, in order to take people out of trades. Whether that would be stop loss, break even, TP, it's just taking people out of trades. It isn't like they're the bad guys. They want to take people stop loss. They want everyone to lose money. Most of the time, it just end up being stop loss, but in reality, it's just taking people out of trades, and that could be anything. Okay, so once their lots are liberated, okay, they can enter the market. They can put their positions. The thing is, yes, even though like most of these traders will not be in futures markets, they will be in CFD. The thing is, the CFD markets, they know where the stop losses are at. They have their information because they're the broker. They're the broker, and they see where their clients are putting their stop losses. So they'll most likely look to take them out. So it's basically the same thing, all right? Just slightly different, but in essence, kind of similar. So you can have this first example when you have CFD making up these weeks that's different to the futures and take people out, for example, or liquidity, or taking lows and highs that aren't actually being taken on futures. Or you can have a different example, whereas uh, where you'll have a level which you want to short from, okay? Let's say you have a liquidity here that you want to see get taken, okay? And price doesn't end up taking it and just goes down. So in here, what you would like to happen was your broker to give you some price action like this for you to see this on TradingView. The thing is that, let's draw the same thing. On futures, you might have gotten this. Okay, sweep of that liquidity. So then if you were to see this on the markets right here where you trade, you were to take your position here and you would have gotten a win. Okay, so it's two different scenarios. So that's the thing. Maybe you could have, I don't know, adapt to this price action right here and maybe took a position knowing that futures just did a clear sweep of liquidity and went down from it. So it's a matter of adapting, and it's a matter of looking at the futures chart and see what has actually happened with the price action. Okay, so how actually SFD brokers make money? So like I mentioned, it's basically like the prop firms. Okay, when you win money from your CFD broker, is somebody losing on the other side. It's not on the actual market, but on just the deposited money from the broker. Okay, and if you make a crazy amount of money on one of these kind of unknown brokers, they will do like the prop firms. They will not pay you out if they don't have enough liquidity, meaning if they don't have enough money in their pockets. They will not pay you out. They will not pay you out and look for an excuse. So it's basically like a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, it's it's like everywhere. Okay, they will pay you out from the traders that lose money. That's why, and most of you guys don't know this. Okay, and rightfully so, because you're not in the industry like that. But once you start, for example, becoming an influencer in the space, let's say, you start to get some deals and you start to hear some crazy stuff. Okay, for example, me, I get dozens of of email requests, DMs on Instagram from brokers that are trying to make me an affiliated, basically an affiliate. Sorry, my English kind of broken today. And shout out, make promotions for their firm. And the crazy thing is, for every single person that comes into their broker, I mean, I guess there's a study where they say every single person that gets into the broker, they lose on average $1,000, let's say. So for every person you bring to them, okay, they will pay you out $800. Just imagine that. Just imagine, and right now you're probably thinking of some traders that you know from the past. Just imagine if you, or if I, for example, were to say, yo, people, join this broker. They're legit, even though you don't know them. And let's make money on personal accounts, prop firms, they don't matter. Imagine how much money you could do, just $800, okay, times by whatever your audience is saying, whatever size your audience you got. That's why the game is ridiculous, and a lot of you don't even know, like, fake certificates, fake payouts is really just an image, okay? There's really a lot of scammy stuff that's going on in the industry, and most of you guys don't know. Most of you guys, because you guys are not in this position, and that's completely normal. But at least now you know that CFD brokers, they only make their money with the losers that have deposited the money there, okay? Because there's also the quote that says 90% of traders lose 90% of their money in 90 days. I think that's the quote as well. So it's basically just based off that, because CFD brokers know that most people will lose money. So why put their orders on the real market if they're just going to lose anyways? So it's just better to keep their money on your pocket, and I mean, make it seem like people are trading the real market. In most cases, they will not make money from you, so they will lose. So you'll be safe. You'll be like the casino, okay? You have the edges on your side. Most people lose in trading, so if most people lose, then you have the probabilities on your side, and it's good. But when you start to have a really profitable trader and is getting a lot of money from you, okay, because he's not getting money from the market, he's getting money from your pockets, from people that's losing. I mean, there's a problem, and it's a conflict of interest. So they will most likely ban that person. So when you start to make a lot of money from personal capital, yeah, it's way better to go into futures. And the futures, I mean, they don't really care if you make money, if you lose money. The only way futures brokers make money is with the real, I mean, aspects they're supposed to be making money out of, and it's the spreads, okay, and the commissions. That's the only and realistic way that you should be rewarding yourself from the markets. So you see how skewed even CFD firms, they reward themselves for this, okay? Because it makes it harder for us, right? Because if we're not even being executed on live markets, why are we paying for the spreads? Why are we paying for the commissions, right? And now we're gonna have a look at USD and and the futures charts. And as you can see, we have the futures on candles, and no, sorry, you have the USD of CFD broker of FXCM. I don't know if I said that right. And you have the futures line and futures in lines. Okay, and as you can see here on the USD, you can see how there's multiple wicks, okay, that don't even have like this size on the futures chart, and they basically form a trend line. But you can see how this point right here on USD is higher from all the others, but on the futures chart, it came to take out the others. It came to take out this one, actually. That this one was actually lower than this one right here. Okay? In essence, what I'm trying to say is that if I saw this get taken out, there's a position for me. There's a liquidity being swept here. Okay? And if I see this getting taken out, it's even better because we're going from one liquidity to another, okay, making this a trap, and then we sweep this and we have a bunch of fuel to go higher. But on this case, okay, I don't know how would I be, but on this case, you can see how this week, okay, this low right here was never taken. Was never taken, and you can see on the futures, it got swept even twice. So, whereas here, there's no possible position to be made because price is just doing a support essentially and a trend line. In here, you could have had one position, boom, a win out of this, probably. And in here, another sweep of liquidity to the downside and another win, possibly. Okay, and here for sure, this is like a lot. But in here, maybe I don't know. Let's calculate how many pips would this be. This would be 55 pips. Okay, so then yeah, you could have had more than enough to get yourself a 3-hour win, for my case. Okay, so this is one of the examples. This is one of the examples, and what you want to do is like, and we're looking at the hourly chart here, because if we go more to the lower time frames, then you will see a huge difference between the two. Okay, I'm gonna just clear this in order to get the charts a bit more visible. Okay, we're going to the 15 minutes, and I was looking right after, before I made this video, where in the futures chart we were kind of here, and on the real markets, on the fake markets, on the brokerage, okay, on USD, we was already here. So in futures, we hadn't really swept this liquidity yet, but on the CFD firms, we already had swept it. So this might go, in essence, alongside my strategy of smart money traps, of seeing the liquidity getting swept and then waiting actually for a second sweep to get people trapped. Because I have to really look more into this confluence of using futures, okay? Because right now on the YouTube channel, as you know, I've always gone for more of a providing value rather than just going for following type of thing. But I'm just trying to give out as much knowledge as I know on the YouTube. I've always been like that. You don't even need to work personally with me to really get to profitability. You can watch all the videos, but you do as you wish. If you want to get profitable faster, you can definitely reach out to me and you can have a look at your situation. But I'm just trying to provide as much value as I know and everything I know about trading. I knew about this futures thing a long time ago, but never really used it like that. I'll try to get a feel for it more and get better examples for y'all. But I hope giving out some, showing you the reality basically of CFD firms. Right now we sweeping this previous daily high on here. In here, sorry. And we're doing the same for this GBP USD. We're kind of testing out this. What about this one? Yeah, it's kind of the same right now, but you'll see some differences sometimes. Like I said, on the brokers, the CFD brokers, we are at already this level. We already swept this liquidity, before I record this video, and the futures markets was still here. I don't know if I can show y'all, but this I probably can. So if you look 230, we were here before the liquidity, as you can see. And on GBP USD, okay, we were before. What about USD? USD, you can see we were already sweeping it. Okay, we swept it at 230, and oh no, we swept it. Okay, I'm bugging then. I'm bugging perhaps. Well, this is my bad. This is my bad. But yeah, that hourly example would have been way better. But right now I'm just improvising. But I still hope you get the value out of this. Okay. Uh, so yeah, hopefully this has been helpful to you. It has been insightful. Okay, I'm bringing out a lot more knowledge, a lot more insights and secrets about trading that I know. This might not be a secret. Okay, there might be experienced people in here that already knew. There might be beginners that didn't. Okay, uh, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe. Definitely join our free trading community on Discord and follow me on Instagram because I'm dropping trading knowledge over there as well. Okay, see you all in the next one, boys.